Welcome to Temple Forge. I'm Lindsay. Join me as we continue in the book of John, followed by exercise and prayer to build strength in mind, body, and soul with God at the helm. Thanks for joining me. The book of John, chapter 19. Jesus sentenced to death. Then Pilate had Jesus flogged with a lead-tipped whip. The soldiers wove a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put a purple robe on him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they mocked as they slapped him across the face. Pilate went outside again and said to the people, "I am going to bring him out to you now, but understand clearly that I find him not guilty." Then Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, and Pilate said, "Look, here is the man." When they saw him, the leading priests and temple guards began shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" "Take him yourselves and crucify him," Pilate said. "I find him not guilty." The Jewish leaders replied, "By our law he ought to die because he called himself the Son of God." When Pilate heard this, he was more frightened than ever. He took Jesus back into the headquarters again and asked him, "Where are you from?" But Jesus gave no answer. "Why don't you talk to me?" Pilate demanded. "Don't you realize that I have the power to release you or crucify you?" Then Jesus said, "You would have no power over me at all unless it were given to you from above. So the one who handed me over to you has the greater sin." Then Pilate tried to release him, but the Jewish leaders shouted, "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar. Anyone who declares himself a king is a rebel against Caesar." When they said this, Pilate brought Jesus out to them again. Then Pilate sat down on the judgment seat on the platform that is called the stone pavement, in Hebrew, Gabbatha. It was now about noon on the day of preparation for the Passover, and Pilate said to the people, "Look, here is your king." "Away with him," they yelled. "Away with him! Crucify him!" "What? Crucify your king?" Pilate asked. "We have no king but Caesar," the leading priests shouted back. Then Pilate turned Jesus over to them to be crucified. The crucifixion. So they took Jesus away. Carrying the cross by himself, he went to the place called Place of the Skull, in Hebrew, Golgotha. There they nailed him to the cross. 2 others were crucified with him, one on either side, with Jesus between them. And Pilate posted a sign on the cross that read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." The place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and the sign was written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek, so that many people could read it. Then the leading priests objected and said to Pilate, "Change it from 'the King of the Jews' to 'He said, I am King of the Jews.'" Pilate replied, "No, what I have written, I have written." When the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they divided his clothes among the 4 of them. They also took his robe, but it was seamless, woven in one piece from top to bottom. So they said, "Rather than tearing it apart, let's throw dice for it." This fulfilled the scripture that says, "They divided my garments among themselves and threw dice for my clothing." So that is what they did. Standing near the cross were Jesus' mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother standing there beside the disciple he loved, he said to her, "Dear woman, here is your son." And he said to this disciple, "Here is your mother." And from then on, this disciple took her into his home. The death of Jesus. Jesus knew that his mission was now finished, and to fulfill scripture he said, "I am thirsty." A jar of sour wine was sitting there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put it on a hyssop branch, and held it up to his lips. When Jesus had tasted it, he said, "It is finished." Then he bowed his head and released his spirit. It was the day of preparation, and the Jewish leaders didn't want the bodies hanging there the next day, which was the Sabbath, and a very special Sabbath because it was the Passover. So they asked Pilate to hasten their deaths by ordering that their legs be broken. Then their bodies could be taken down. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the 2 men crucified with Jesus. But when they came to Jesus, they saw that he was already dead, so they didn't break his legs. One of the soldiers, however, pierced his side with a spear, and immediately blood and water flowed out. This report is from an eyewitness giving an accurate account. He speaks the truth so that you also may continue to believe. These things happened in fulfillment of the scriptures that say, "Not one of his bones will be broken," and "They will look on the one they pierced." The burial of Jesus. Afterward, Joseph of Arimathea, who had been a secret disciple of Jesus because he feared the Jewish leaders, asked Pilate for permission to take down Jesus' body. When Pilate gave permission, Joseph came and took the body away. With him came Nicodemus, the man who had come to Jesus at night. He brought about 75 pounds of perfumed ointment made from myrrh and aloes. Following Jewish burial custom, they wrapped Jesus' body with the spices in long sheets of linen cloth. The place of crucifixion was near a garden where there was a new tomb, never used before. And so, because it was the day of preparation for the Jewish Passover, and since the tomb was close at hand, they laid Jesus there. Let's begin with some deep breaths. Twist side to side. Big arm circles, forward and backward. Squats. Toe touches. Open up the hips. Lunges. Switch legs. Stand up. Put your hands behind you and kick your heels to your hands. Our first exercise is dead bugs. So lay on the ground on your back, lift your legs in a 90-degree angle, and lift your arms above you. Extend one leg and the opposite arm out and bring them back and alternate. Now we're going to stand up and do jumping jacks. For our third exercise, put your hands on your hips and kick one leg up at a time to hip level. Now we're going to get back down on the ground and do Russian twists. Put your hands together, lift your feet off the ground, and touch your elbow to one side and then the other. Now stand up and do squat twists. Now we're going to get back down on the ground and do push-ups on our knees. Now get on your back put your hands on your head and touch elbow to opposite knee and alternate. Now we're going to do hand plank jump-ins. Now we're going to stand up and skate side to side. And now an elbow plank. Now get in an extended child's pose to stretch the back. Keeping your knees and hands where they are, extend your body forward to stretch your back some more. Now bend your right knee and bring it in front of your body. And now your left knee. Now bring a foot up to your thigh and hold. Release. Bring it in. Release. Last time in. And release. Switch feet. Release. Bring it in. Release. Last one in. And release. Sit with your feet crossed. Bring an elbow to the ground, reach your other arm over and stretch your side. Keep your stomachs in. Now switch sides. Switch feet position. And do it again. And the other side. Walk it out with your hands. Walk it back. Switch feet. Walk it out again. And walk it back. Bring an arm across your chest and hold with your other arm. Switch arms. Bring an arm up over your head and pull to your middle with your other hand. And now the other arm. Bring a knee up to your chest and hug it with your arms. Switch knees. Stand up. Big arm circles. Twist side to side. Lunges. And switch legs.